Hello and welcome to the next video of my LCS 2023 preview series where we're going to cover Cloud9. This team coming into this year, his average age is 21 years old. Last year they went 23-13, would go to Worlds, drop out in group stage. Their academy team went 14-16-6, playing best of twos causes there to be ties. They've added Mithy as the coach. Max Waldo is no longer with the team. Mithy went 63-36 as a coach thus far in his career, a longtime support and teammate of Sven, who plays for this team. The team made one move this past offseason, allowing Jensen to walk and bringing in Dplex and Eminez in mid. So I guess it's one role that has been altered out of the starting five from last year, but they've brought in a couple players to try and replace him. And there are reasons for that, which we'll get into, at least rumored reasons. In top lane, we have Fudge, who at 20 years old put up a 3.8 KDA, 8.7 CS per minute, 61.5 KP. He is one of, if not the best, LCS top laners, and at 20 years old still could grow into being better. 516 damage per minute, 23.6 damage share, 22.7 gold share, 4 solo kills across 18 games. He'd play 9 champions. Gwen, Fiora, GP. His Fiora obviously being notable as a int pick. We saw at Worlds his Fiora was completely outclassed. Maybe he should stop playing that. Fudge definitely has an ego to him. Confidence for sure. And it's to his detriment sometimes. I feel like if he played a little more Ornn and a little more Gragas and things like that, it would be to the benefit of the team to offer that as a option for the team to play. Fake God was brought in. Darshan's out. Something I did notice about this team that I do like, they have a good academy team. I think it is important to have a good academy team to allow for 1v1s, internal scrims and things like that, and keep everybody at their best. Like, it's better to have a better academy team if you don't need young players or prospects. You have strong academy players to compete with your LCS players. So Fake God at 22 years old did not play in summer, had taken the split off, put up a 2.4 KDA, 8.2 CS per minute, 50.9 KP with Dignitas in spring. Definitely left a lot to be desired. He was struggling in spring, and I was, one of the people that said, Dignitas needs to swap out Fake God. Now they ended up going with Gamsu and Hoon and a bunch of just they made their top lane worse. Like, I didn't think it could get worse, and it did. So Fake God is now Cloud9, 393 damage per minute, 23.5 damage share, 21 gold share, 6 solo kills across 18 games, played 9 champions. Gnar, Tryndamere, Graves, his most played, and these are LCS numbers, so he was average. Problem was, he, similar to Fudge, he played a lot of carries and not a lot of tanks, and Dignitas would have benefited greatly in spring from a player that could play some tanks. In the jungle, we have Blabber. At 22 years old, put up a great summer split. A 3.4 KDA, 6.4 CS per minute, 70.5 KP. So he was gapping his opponents in the jungle. Blabber in that second tier of junglers below Inspired and probably Pioshik, where, you have Santorin and Closer and Spica. Blabber put up a 364 damage per minute, 17.6 damage share, 19.1 gold share, 12 champions in 19 games. Xin Zhao and Udyr were the only 2 champions he played. I think he went 2-0 on both. He did not play any champion more than twice, hence the 12 champions in 19 games. Tomio, at 19 years old, was brought in from EG to back up Blabber. Tomio put up a 3.5 KDA, 5.4 CS per minute, 63.4 KP. He is definitely not LCS level yet, but only at 19 years old can develop into something. 284 damage per minute, 13 damage share, 18.5 gold share. So definitely a dog jungler with those kind of numbers. People want to say, like, oh, it was a dog meta. Not everybody ended up looking like, statistically looking like a dog jungler in the meta. You look at Blabber. He did not look like that. Obviously, bucking the trend of the meta, playing a bunch of different stuff. Tomio, on the other hand, definitely embraced the meta with the G. 6 solo kills across 36 games. Played 9 champions, Viego, Wukong, and Trundle. Now, mid lane definitely is an interesting case. So we have Diplex and MNS, both brought in from the European Regional Leagues from last year. Diplex, at 19 years old, put up great numbers in the LFL, which many would consider to be the top European Regional League. A 7-7 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 61.8 KP. Those are good numbers. Are they warranting a promotion? Excuse me. Maybe. The KDA is definitely very strong. Notoriously, I guess, a melee player, if you've watched him in the past. 551 damage per minute, 24-1 damage share, 21-6 gold share, 6 solo kills across 18 games in the LFL. Played 7 champions. Silas, Ari, and Swain his most played. I have heard some people reference Diplex as a player that was as touted as Vethio coming up in the French League, but Vethio took the next step and Diplex did not. So, Diplex is brought in to start. Now, Eminez is a Korean import that played in the ERLs last year as well. And at 21 years old, absolutely, like, just ragdolled the NLC, the Nordic League, I guess. Like, absolutely ragdolled everybody. Now, the issue is, apparently there is a attitude thing, and that's why this player has not been given opportunities at a higher level. Put up a 5 KDA, 9.7 CS per minute, 59.6 KP. So definitely not a roamer. He is a laner, 110%. I mean, he's farming out of his mind, so it's not like he's losing gold. Like, this guy is like Chovying in mid, obviously at a lower level of play, so it's not Chovy, but a lower level of play, and he's just playing like blinders on. We're getting farm, we're getting gold. When he did fight, he put 801 damage per minute up, which is, I think, the highest I've seen doing all these videos thus far. Even like LPL, who fight all the time, like Eminez is putting up some crazy numbers at a lower level of play. Carry-like numbers in mid with 31.9 damage share, 23.3 gold share, 18 solo kills across 14 games, would play 11 champions. Corky and Yone, the only champions he played more than once. So, it's a matter of if, not when, Eminez ends up playing for this team at the highest level. I think he's better than Diplex. So, it all comes down to if his attitude works out. Maybe being alongside Berserker, a Korean player, will help tame him a bit. If that ends up being the case, this could be pretty scary. This guy, at least at that level, absolutely dominated. Like I said with Diplex, it's arguable whether he earned that promotion or not. His KDA is outstanding, but the farm is what it is. The KP isn't super great. And then when you compare it to Eminez, who played, although in a different regional league, played at the same tier of play, like gaps him by 1 CS per minute, pretty much similar KP, out damages him by 250 per minute. Like, that's a ton. That is a ton. So, it's Cloud9 has hedged their bets. Like, they're like, okay, we're going to bring in Eminez and we're going to bring in Diplex. Diplex can play. If Eminez turns out, we have an even better mid laner. If we don't, we have a solid mid laner in Diplex. So, it's definitely something interesting to think about. In bot lane, we have Berserker at 19 years old. Last year, doing very well for Cloud9. Put up a 5.1 KDA, 9 CS per minute, 63.4 KP. You'd like the CS per minute to be better. We did see a lot of interesting things out of the bot lane that kind of nerfed him a bit. 526 damage per minute, 24.5 damage share, 23.1 gold share. No solo kills in 16 games. Would play 9 champions. Zeri, Callista, and Sivir, I think, being the only champions he played more than twice. So, you got to keep in mind, Berserker comes in. They do not, I think they had a Visa situation. I think that's why I played 16 games. Otherwise, I think Games of Legend is screwing with me because there were a couple of games where Berserker probably played the support role in the bot lane. Being alongside Sven, a new support, you could see a lot of different possibilities in that bot lane. Maybe putting Sven on Senna, which they definitely did. Berserker played a Tom Kench game. You could see things like a Seraphine or even Ashe and things like that in the bot lane with 280 carries. Now, similar to the Fake God situation in top lane, they've brought in a bot lane that is solid in Lost and Zazel. So Lost at 23 years old, put up a 1.9 KDA, 8.5 CS per minute, 68.7 KP. So definitely not an LCS level bot laner anymore. But at the academy level, you probably won't find a much better bot laner if you're like set in your ways on who you're going to play. Like there's no need to get a prospect bot laner if you have Berserker. So Lost can just help him, give him good looks with a matchup and things like that. 385 damage per minute, 21.7 damage share, 23.2 gold share, 2 solo kills in 18 games, I believe, with Golden Guardians last year. Played 11 champions. Callista, Aphelios, and Seraphine being his most played. So Lost has played a lot of different stuff. He's played in a lot of different situations. So I'm sure that's more of a, you know, 2v2 bot lane situation, trying to like practice and things like that. Bring in Lost and Zazel. Support, we have Sven, oldest player on the org. 25 years old, put up a 5.4 KDA, 71 KP, 2.58 vision score per minute. 2 cleared wards every 5 minutes, 10 champions in 16 games. Yuumi, Lulu, Nautilus, I think were the 3 champions he played more than once. Definitely a guy that's still learning the role. Hopefully this year he improves. I think it's not really an if, it's going to be a when. Sven's a very talented player, and if he can improve and he can learn roam timings and how to get vision in a more efficient manner and things like that, you're looking at a situation where Cloud9 is going to get better. A lot of people think, oh, they didn't make moves really, so they're stagnant. They're not going to be able to keep up with FlyQuest and TL, who've made all these moves. Cloud9 are still a good team, and internally they can get better. So that's a thing. Zazel, 23 years old. These numbers are from 2020. He hasn't played in a couple of years. Put up a 3.1 KDA, 70.6 KP, 2.34 vision score a minute, 1 cleared ward every 4 minutes, 9 champions in 18 games. Yuumi, Braum, Alistar, his most played at that time. Zazel, obviously played with Cloud9 in the past, has went to Worlds with Cloud9. So, surprisingly, I thought he was older than he is. But only at 23 years old, there's still a little bit left in the tank for him. I think he was even a coach for Cloud9 last year, so we'll see what C9 has to offer. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube member, and thank you for watching.